Um, so going back to the Spurs thing, I watched your Primo video, and you were kind of like, it seemed like you weren't really leaning one way or the other. You were saying, well, you were kind of 50-50. You saw his pros and saw his cons.
Yeah.
So people, Spurs fans were debating whether or not we should keep him in the G League. If we should have him in the G League this year, and then we assigned him to the G League, and then I think it was Devin Vassell got injured or something like that. It might have been COVID. I don't remember. And so Primo filled up that spot, and he's doing all right, but he's still not like crazy, if that makes sense. Like he's
Yeah.
doing all right, but he's still only about like 5 points a night.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other night, even though he only had like 5 points, he had like 4 blocks, and he's a
Yeah.
shooting guard. So I mean,
Yeah.
so my question to you is, we were our Spurs fans were already debating, do we put him in the G League this year? Now people are talking about, do we keep him in G League another year? I really don't want to do that because I want to keep him on the court, but I can
Yeah.
see an argument for why. So I know you're not really a Spurs fan like I am, but I want your
No.
your take on it. Like, where do we keep Primo in the G League, or do we give him more NBA minutes, especially
I
with the
mean,
Spurs being so competitive with their minutes on the roster?
yes. I mean, look, as a young guy already, it's difficult coming into a Greg Popovich system because he likes polished players, polished. He'll develop you, but it's different than how other teams are gonna develop. And then you guys already have a plethora of guards and shooting guards on your roster, young guys too. So it's like, where do you squeeze in minutes? And it seems like the only way he's gonna get minutes on the Spurs is if someone's injured, as we just saw. So
Mm-hmm.
it turns into like, how do you get this guy at least 10 minutes a night in the NBA? So I could see the point of, hey, let's just put him in the G League, let him play a little bit, and then we'll bring him back and then we'll let him play. But then it's like, yeah, going to the G League does help, but it's not the same as playing in the NBA. It's miles different. Like, the mistakes you make in the NBA probably won't cost you in the G League. So, like, for example, if I have two turnovers in a row, the other team probably won't score on those two turnovers. In the NBA, they're gonna score on those two turnovers. So I need to take care of the ball more. Obviously, the guy has potential. I mean, the Spurs don't take a guy at their position for no reason. I mean, it did shock everybody. No one knew Josh Primo was that high on their draft board. I mean, did you
Mm-hmm.
even know he was gonna be
Nah, man.
someone like that?
I was hoping like we would take like Kai Jones or somebody, but that's the one, that's the guy that every Spurs fan was talking about, because we needed like a big, and he was
Yeah,
from UT. But the thing with Primo is like he wanted to be a Spur, and I made a whole video about him. It's like one of my highest viewed videos on my channel about like I like took a step back after watching the draft because like I was a little mad that we got another
yeah,
guard, but then like I started looking at like film of him and like his stats, and I made a video saying about like how Joshua Primo can actually uh like bring the Spurs back to being like a playoff team and everything,
yeah.
because he has a catch and shoot, he has a phenomenal three, and he has amazing lateral quickness and
Mhm.
just drive with him. Like he has so much effort, it's insane.
Yeah.
And again, like he's a shooting guard, and he has four
Mhm.
blocks. Like that's nuts to me. Um, but again, he is young, so I get the thing with putting him in the G League, especially with the Spurs being so
Yeah.
competitive with their minutes. Because again, we have a lot of guards, but I
Yes.
just want to see him play, man. Like it's like it's rough because again, if we see him play, we have to bench somebody else,
Yeah.
and it's a hard decision, but I just want to see Primo thrive, man. So
Yeah, me too, bro. And then it's weird because this guy, what was his name? Lonnie Walker. How long did it take for him to start getting minutes?
I don't even remember, But
Because I remember that he got drafted and everyone was like, "Where's Lonnie Walker?" And it was just like he's not gonna get any minutes yet because we're still taking him through the motions of it. So I
yeah,
mean, I guess it's just a Spurs thing where they just keep rookies in their system, and then later on they'll start to play them. But it is weird because you got a guy that shot this good in college,
mm-hmm,
and your team they need the 3-point shooting. They need all the 3-point shooting they can get,
yeah,
and it's like, at what point do we bench someone and put this guy in just to see how he goes? Like I'm pretty sure. What's this guy's name? What is it? Derek? Is it Derek?
Derek White.
Yeah, like, how old is he?
I can look it up for you. I don't
He's like
remember. He's
he's
pretty
like
young though.
Yeah. So, like, for example, a guy like Derek White, or a guy like, obviously you're not gonna bench DeJounte Murray, but a guy like Derek White, he has his potential, but you could have
Yeah,
him and Primo competing for their minutes just to see what Primo can do. Because at this point, it's just whoever gets injured, Primo will take their minutes, and that's inconsistent minutes like that doesn't help anybody get better in the NBA. So
yeah,
I hope he can get his minutes and he can get his runs and they can run plays for him so he can like learn how to play, especially with how the Spurs are. If we're obviously it's going to be extremely difficult to even make the play-in tournament in the Western Conference this year, and
mm-hmm,
it's like we have nothing to lose playing this guy. Obviously, it's going to be an extremely difficult season. We might as well just let our guys run and see what we have in them. Obviously, it's super early in the season. You don't want to start off like that. But once you get to like the midway point where you realize, or that point where teams are like, all right, we can actually make the playoffs. Let's actually try. If the Spurs are in that position, then you just keep doing what you're doing. But if you know you're not, then you might as well just let the guy get some runs and see what you have on your hands. I mean, that's why you drafted him.
yeah. I think one of the Spurs' biggest problems, besides like 3-point shooting and everything, is consistency.
Yes.
It's the thing that the like a bunch of Bucks fans and NBA fans like were giving Chris Middleton shit for during the finals, because like
Yeah.
some nights he'd be shooting like Kobe, and then like other nights like people were saying like
Just
uh
building mansions out there.
yeah, people were saying like on some nights that he's like MJ, and then on other nights he's shooting like 0 for 13 or something.
Yeah.
And
Playing no defense.
yeah, and like our Spurs are kind of acting like the same way. Like there's other nights where I'm pretty sure it was Derek White again, or it might have been DeJounte Murray, one of them, like shot like 0 for 10 or something, and then we have nights like the other night where we beat the fucking Warriors.
Yes,
like
it
like
makes
what's
no
going
sense.
on?
It makes
And
no sense.
and it's like kind of like leaking over into Primo too, but I think it's with Primo it's more of just a thing of him being young, um,
Yeah.
because like he'll have nights where again he has like a 40% three, and then like I forget what game it was, but he shot something like 0 for 4 from three or something like that. So it's like he's still gonna have some mistakes, but yeah, I want to see him make those mistakes in the NBA, because, like you said, it's like there's some mistakes in the NBA that have more impact, and so you're more
Oh
able
yeah.
to notice them and change them than
Yes.
in the G League. It's like this might be a bad analogy, but it's like if you're writing like a document for like school, and
Yeah.
you mess something up, it's like, oh, okay, you get like a few points off your grade and whatever. You might get a B instead of an A. You
Yeah.
you get that you have to make the same document at an actual job, and it's not like it's a few points off your grade. It's like you get called into the boss's office and
Yeah.
everything.
You might even get
So
written up.
yeah, so
I mean, the Magic struggle with this too. Inconsistency is our biggest killer for both of our teams. Like you said, you guys beat the Warriors. We beat the Utah Jazz. Literally, all of our wins are against teams over 500. We beat the Knicks twice. We beat the Timberwolves. We beat the Jazz. And who was it that? And then who was it that we beat recently? We beat them, and then let me look it up. We beat this good team, and then we play against the Rockets and lose. It makes absolutely no sense how inconsistent our teams can be. And I guess that's just something you have to live with a young team. Just
yeah.
one day they're gonna make shots, the next day they're not. Like there was a stat that came out about the Magic where in the first quarter they were shooting like 20%, and then in the next three, oh, it was against the Nuggets. They shot like 60% in all three quarters. And then the
That's
next game we
nuts.
lose to the Rockets. It makes no sense. And even the Rockets, same thing happens to them. They beat who they beat? They beat the Bulls because they were just hitting threes constantly. And then the next game they can't hit a single three. Even though the Rockets are like on a 6 game win streak.
Yeah, I like how you pointed it out because I didn't even realize it. I think it might just be like a lot of the teams that are inconsistent right now are like the younger teams,
Yes.
like the Spurs and like the Rockets. The Rockets team is basically like all rookies right now.
Oh yeah.
So
And Christian Wood. It's just
yeah,
Christian Wood and rookies,
yeah.
which